What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So a 2024 defensive line player who is committed to the University of Minnesota recently just did visit USC this last weekend. And apparently, according to a lot of his stuff, he has decommitted from Minnesota after that visit. His name is Jide Abasiri, or Jidi Abasiri. Hopefully I'm saying that correct. But yeah, one of the better players out there. A lot of people didn't think he would be willing to move cross country because I think his family's all based in the Midwest and maybe the East Coast. But I guess USC pretty much sold him, because why would he decommit all of a sudden when National Signing Day is pretty soon and fast approaching? So hopefully this is a win for USC in the trenches, especially with another team that they're going to be facing up against in the near future in Minnesota in the Big Ten. So this is a pretty big get for them if it does happen officially. And then the player I talked about in yesterday's video, Mario Anderson, the South Carolina running back, apparently he already cut down his list to only 3 to 4 teams. I think it was 4 at first, and now it's pretty much just 3 according to a college insider. And apparently USC is part of that 3, along with Oklahoma, and Memphis. I know Oklahoma has been getting a couple guys here and there, and they have one of the top players in Taylor Tatum going over there to go join him after his senior year. So maybe it might be too crowded for him, and he knows USC has a bit more opportunity for players at his running back position. And Memphis, yeah, you could go there. It is a bit harder to get seen, especially when it comes to the NFL side. But either way, up to him. We'll see what ends up happening with Mario in the near future. And Juju Watkins, once again, after her 27-point performance yesterday, got Pac-12 Freshman of the Week. Once again, as I mentioned, so yeah, obviously she's been balling, and hopefully she will be able to continue that the rest of the season going on forward. And then DeMar DeRozan tonight, ex-USC player playing for the Chicago Bulls, he went off. He had 41 points and 11 assists as well. I can't remember I don't think the 41 points is his career high. Pretty sure he's scored a bit more than that. But either way, it's a nice performance by him, the ex-USC Trojan, and definitely very happy for him. And Duke basketball finally played this last Saturday, pretty early game against Charlotte at home, finally, because the last 2 games were on the road and they were both losses. But yes, they were able to get this victory, 80-56. It was kind of close here and there, but they pretty much pulled away eventually. There was a lot of mixing of Jalen Blakes early, as I mentioned, and Caleb Foster looks like he started as well. A couple of those players that I mentioned should be playing over some of the other guys, and it seemed like everything flowed a lot better. They did take a while to get going, as I mentioned, and nobody really threw up, crazy amount of points to kind of assert themselves as the main player. We were hoping Filipowski would do that once again this season, but he's kind of been taking his time, or slow to get going, I guess. But hopefully he will get in a rhythm soon. And then I mentioned before, a couple videos back, that Duke running backs Jordan Waters and Jaquez Moore, hopefully I'm saying that correct, both entered the transfer portal at the same time. And as I mentioned, I hoped one of them could return, because why would both leave if the other guy for competition finally leaves and you will most likely be the number 1 guy? And it looks like Moore has decided to withdraw his name from the transfer portal and return to Duke, which is pretty cool, because it's obvious that they have a nice coach coming back in Manny Diaz. And obviously he is on the defensive side, which kind of means that they like to run the ball on the offensive side a bit more. So when it comes to this, hopefully he will get his chance to shine. Jordan Waters, as of this second, is still in the transfer portal, so he will be most likely transferring out eventually. But as of right now, there hasn't really been that much stuff. We'll get into another guy who is transferring out of Duke, but a lot of these guys are kind of either staying or going, so we'll have to wait and see. And speaking of that other Duke players, he is a cornerback in Jalen Stinson. Hopefully I'm saying that correct. But he did enter the transfer portal earlier on today, I believe. So we'll see where he ends up going, or if he decides to come back. You never know. And then, yes, the Anaheim Ducks did play yesterday as well. They had a lead going into the third period, I believe, but they ended up losing that game 2-4 to the Jets, which sucks. So, on a little bit of a losing streak here and there. I think the last game they lost to Chicago. So, like I said, hopefully they can turn it around. But it's looking pretty like another pretty bad season for my Anaheim Ducks. And yes, the Lakers this last Saturday night were able to defeat the Indiana Pacers in the first NBA in-season tournament final, 123-109, I believe. And Anthony Davis went off. He had like 41 points, 20 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Even Austin Reeves threw in 28 points. And it's kind of funny that all these stats aren't counting. Even I figured that out once I was looking at my fantasy basketball lineup, looking because I have LeBron James, but it wasn't saying that he was playing on Saturday. So I was hoping for some extra points, but apparently none of these points counted, even though AD made Lakers history, because I think it's only him, Wilt Chamberlain, and like Elgin Baylor that had that type of stat line or something like that, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, either way, it's an awesome victory. They definitely stepped it up, especially on the defensive side. They had a bigger lead than what they ended up winning by, and were able to control the game for the most part. It came down pretty close in early in that fourth quarter in the third, but they were still able to do what they wanted and made a nice run in that fourth quarter to have that pretty big lead. So either way, happy for them. And it even sounds like they're going to be raising a banner at crypto.com arena, which is pretty crazy because it's just a little tournament thing. It's the first time that it's ever happened, unless the NBA is telling them that they should or they can raise a banner, because I don't think the Lakers would even really care to put it up. They might as well just put it up in their practice facility out there in El Segundo, but I guess the NBA wants them to put it up. So either way, it was just kind of funny because they looked like they were celebrating like they had won a championship, which is pretty funny and cool. But either way, hopefully it's giving them a nice preview to what can happen in a couple months down in June and July. And hopefully they will be hoisting their next trophy over whoever it is. But yeah, either way, it's pretty cool experience overall. And they ended up going like 7-0 in tournament play as well, which is pretty interesting. And both LeBron James and Anthony Davis made the all-tournament team for the in-season tournament. So they were like, I don't think there was a first or second team. It was just that one team. And they made it along with like, I think it was Giannis, Halliburton was with the Pacers, and Kevin Durant as well. So either way, it's a nice overall victory for them. It's kind of weird that the NBA kind of gave, it's like a little All-Star break, almost like a weekend off, because after like Wednesday, all the teams were pretty much not playing. I think when I saw on fantasy, yeah, it was a pretty weird week for fantasy. You expect them to play the whole week, but it kind of stopped on Wednesday or Thursday, and then they're resuming back tonight on Monday. But yeah, it's kind of weird. Maybe it keeps the NBA players fresh eventually going down the stretch and have some better play going in to these Christmas games coming up, because that's going to be a big time matchup with the Lakers hosting the Boston Celtics. So hoping for a Lakers victory there. So yeah, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Have a great day. Bye.